Whenever we start something new, we start with a burst of energy. We're excited about the prospect of what this will become, of the end result. When we start going to the gym, we imagine ourselves fit, healthy, trekking up mountains to see the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises, and enjoying the views along the way. I personally don't believe in motivation. I think any person who waits for motivation to come is taking steps backwards every moment that they're waiting. And usually the motivation that does come doesn't make up for all of those steps backwards. I also truly don't believe in perfection. Just because you haven't done something one day or 1 week doesn't mean that you failed at what you're trying to achieve, unless you let yourself. We make excuses all the time, and we know when we're doing it. What I do believe in is consistency. The truth is that doing something for a day or a week does nothing for you in the grand scheme of things when you're wanting to achieve a goal. We can be, and we often are, proud of ourselves when we start something, because starting something is a really tough step. That's the beginning of it all. It's only the beginning of the real work. Doing something every possible day that you can adds up to achieving your goals. Getting as close to every day as possible is what we should be striving for. But consistency can be imperfect as long as you're showing up the majority of the time. We tend to get completely thrown off from our goals if we take too much time away from the work. We make a lot of excuses, and the best laid plans tend to die because we are not seeing immediate results or success. Many people have a false idea that if they can't be perfect in their consistency, then there's no point in even trying. If you can't achieve no days off, then you've failed. Let's say someone has more than their allotted cheat day calories. They start to tell themselves that they messed up, they say that they've failed, and they have this mentality that, well, I already did that, so I've already screwed everything up. I might as well just enjoy the rest of this, or eat more of that, or do whatever I want. It all essentially becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The truth is that if they picked themselves up right there in that moment where they realize that they messed up, where they've gone off of plan, and they decided to continue the plan from then on, they would still achieve their goals. But so many people don't realize that this second chance exists and that they could harness it if they so desired. Consistency doesn't have to be perfect to work. We need to reshape our mindset before we begin something. The end result is hundreds of steps, hundreds of sessions, hundreds of days away from where we are. We need to stop focusing on the pie in the sky and focus a little closer. When we do this, we start to recognize the little wins, the little things that are improving along the way. Focusing on these tiny changes can improve our motivation, and hopefully we won't give up at the first sign of difficulty. I recently started running to the gym a couple times a week. I had never really been a runner before. I don't even really do cardio. At first, this was torture. The first few days I was so sore that I couldn't even sleep. Honestly, I could have made that an excuse to stop. I could have told myself, well, my body's just not made for this. Instead, I told myself that if I just tried again, the next time I wouldn't have this soreness because my body was now over the first shock. Sure enough, when I went back and I ran it again, I didn't feel that soreness. I was able to go a little further than before. Then I challenged myself each day to go a tiny bit further without having to walk. Over a couple weeks, I was able to achieve running from my front door to the front door of the gym without stopping, the whole 1.5 miles. I made a note of all of these tiny improvements along the way. I started focusing on my breathing and the fact that I didn't get as winded each time. It was clear that I was adapting better each day. My cardiovascular abilities were improving. Now I hardly have to encourage myself at all to step out the door and run to the gym. I've even started running a bit when I walk home. I initially planned on just walking home leisurely to enjoy that time, but now I'm starting to enjoy running so much that I'm adding that in there too. I actually feel like it, and when we feel like doing something, it's easier to make a habit. I would have never imagined that I'd be in this place a few months back. But here I am, and it's all because of consistency. Trading is all about consistency. In fact, we are trying to improve our literal consistency, our wins versus our losses, every single day. A trader can actually be a profitable trader with a little more than 50% consistency. That really just comes down to the size of your winners versus your losers. In fact, you could possibly be under 50% consistent and still be a profitable trader. Of course, we always want to be improving this consistency whenever we have the opportunity. I've been trading for the better portion of 4 years, and that is straight. I've had a few times where I took some time off for my mental health, I've gone on a few vacations, or I've had a few sick days, but that didn't keep me from consistently coming back and showing up on all the days that were possible. I sometimes feel like I don't want to keep going, and those days are my mental health days. Trading isn't exactly fun. I don't get excited about trading like I used to when I had this vision of what success would look like hanging over my head like a carrot. I believed it was closer than it was at that point, but even though that's changed for me now, I don't mourn the loss of that feeling. I'm completely at peace with my relationship with trading. I don't have any urgency or anxiety around it anymore. I think this comes down to the point that I've made my trading efforts a habit. Habits are hard to break. So that's what consistency has given to me. I have this unconscious ability to keep going, to keep showing up. Consistency has made me numb to the roller coaster of trading. I don't beat myself up. I don't carry the frustrations around my trading with me throughout the rest of the day anymore. I feel calm, and I feel the conviction that it's just a matter of time. I don't know exactly how long that time is going to be, but I don't have to worry about it anymore, because I just keep showing up. You will only get flexible if you stretch more days than not. You will only learn how to trade by showing up more days than not. You will only be a profitable trader if you stick to your plan more days than not. So don't dwell on the days that you didn't or couldn't show up. Just make yourself show up the day after that, and the day after that, and every day that it is possible to show up, until you don't feel the need to force yourself anymore. It will come with consistency, and with that, it's just a matter of time.